Let's prepare on slope and deflections. So first, what is slope and what is deflection? Okay, so now I am taking a simply supported beam like this, and you can apply any load, either a point load or a UDL, anything you can apply. Okay, so if I am applying a point load like this, so how the deflection will be happening means it will be happening like this. Okay, so the vertical displacement is only called as the deflection. So in cantilever beams it will be acting like this. If this is your cantilever beam means the deflection will be acting like this. So it will be 0 at the fixed support and it will be maximum at the free end. Whereas in the simply supported it will be 0 at the supports and maximum at the center. If it is a central load means it is at center and it varies accordingly. So this is the deflection, that is the vertical displacement of the beam. So what is slope? Slope means when you are drawing a tangent line towards this end. Okay, so this curve, so this curve is called as the elastic curve. So in that curve, when we draw a tangent line like this, the angle between the beam and this tangent line is called as the slope here. So this is the theta value here. So this theta will be equal to dy by dx. So it's the angle between this. So normally the unit of the slope will be in radians. So that is only a given here, a slope theta is equal to dy by dx. Whereas when you are taking d square y by dx square into ei, it will give you the moment of that beam. When you are taking triple times, it's the shear force, and when you are taking 4 times, it's your load. So this is the main concept of this slope and deflection. So now we will see some methods for determining this theta and the deflection, slope and deflection. So the first two methods are integration method only. The one is double integration method and the another one is the Macaulay's method, which is also an integration method. So this integration method is a tedious process and it will be normally used for a big questions only. So normally we'll be taking the integration of that area, m by ei, everything, and we'll be calculating. So here the C1 and C2 is nothing but during the integration we'll be getting a constant, no, so it will be based on the n condition. That's all is given there. Okay, the next method is the area moment method. So this is based on the Morse theorem. This method is generally used for the cantilever slopes and deflection, so that we can find it quickly. So here based on the theorem 1, it gives that slope will be equal to the area of the m by ei diagram. So you will be drawing the m by ei, moment by ei diagram for a given beam, and the area will be equal to its slope. And then a x bar by ei will give you the deflection. The a is nothing but it is the area of that bending moment diagram, and x bar is the distance of the center of gravity of that m by ei from the considered point. So where we are considering the deflection, at the end or at the middle, somewhat like that. Okay, so this is only based on the area and this concept. So this both is the theorem for this area moment method. And the fourth method is the conjugate beam method. So this is suitable for any section and subjected to couples and cantilevers also it is suited. So here what we will be doing is a given beam will be considered as a conjugate beam, and then we will be finding the theta value and deflection value. So how means, so normally a cantilever beam will be given means we will be converting this fixed support to free end and the free end to fixed support. Like this we will be changing. Okay, and then the load that is occurring, so that we won't change, but the same load we will be calculating the values for moment, bending moment diagram, everything will be calculating. And in the conjugate beam what we will be doing is the load will be considered as the moment by EA. Okay, so the moment we will be considering here, if W is given means the moment for this diagram we will be calculating, no, so that moment by EI will be your load in the conjugate beam. So that is transferred to a load here. So with this load we will be calculating the theta and the deflection. So this is the simple change we are doing in this conjugate beam. So now we got the again the shear force like diagram with m by ei diagram. So with this m by ei value in the conjugate beam, we will find the shear force and bending moment. So the shear force that we are finding using this conjugate beam will be equal to your slope, and the bending moment that you are finding with this conjugate beam will be equal to your deflection. Okay, so that is the simple technique you'll be using in the conjugate beam method. So how you should consider means, if it is a simple support or if it is a pinned support or roller support, means you will be considering is at the same only. So it is a simply supported beam only. If it is a fixed means you should consider it as free, and if it is free means you should consider it as fixed in the conjugate beam. So this is also a big process only. So normally they will be won't be asking this in the objective questions. So for us, based on if we are seeing this lecture, that is slope and deflection, means the formulas are only important for us in the point of exams, competitive exams. So we will be studying the slope and deflection values for some main beams alone. So before studying the formula, let me tell this Maxwell's reciprocal law. So this is nothing but I am taking a cantilever beam like this, and a load applied in the C point, okay, and another point, an intermediate point, is taken at B. And in the next beam, if you see, means at the point B they have applied the load and C point they have taken. So what they are telling this in this Maxwell's reciprocal law means, when you apply a load in C, the deflection caused in B, if it is equal to Y, okay, and when you apply a load in B and the deflection caused in C, if it is equal to X, means this X and Y will be same. So this is what they are telling in the Maxwell's reciprocal law of deflection. And this is the main thing which we want to study for the exam point of view. So these are the type of beams and slope and deflection formulas I have given, and there is a small trick to remember also. If you want that, you can use that, or if you are having a good memory power, means you can directly study the formula. Don't get confused with the tricks. Okay, so first let me tell you the order of the beam. So this is only important, so that only the trick will occur, the trick will work here. So the first one is nothing but it is a cantilever beam. The first 4 is cantilever only, and the last 2 simply supported. So studying these 6 beams is very much enough for the exams. So the first one is the fixed beam with the moment at the free end, okay, and the next one is the cantilever beam with the load at the free end. So for this I have calculated the moment here, so that also you will be seeing now. So for this only this moment is occurring, so M is directly equal to M, that M only, and here when this is W and this is L, the moment will be equal to WL, so I have written WL here. And then when the case is UDL in the cantilever beam, means it is W into L, so this is your load into L by 2 you will be adding, no, so you will be multiplying, no, so W into L into L by 2 will give you WL square by 2. So in the UVL case it is WL by 2 into L by 3, so you will be getting WL square by 6. And simply supported beam with central load, it is W into W by 2 into L by 2. So how means, if this is your W, obviously this will be W by 2 and this will be W by 2. So W by 2 into L by 2. So you will be getting WL by 4. And in the next case, that is simply supported with UDL, it is WL square by 8. So this also we know already. So keeping all these moments in the mind only, we can go for the next step to find the slope. Okay, so the red with the red pen I have written, no, so that is the trick to remember. So for the first case it is ML by EI and ML by 2 EI in the next one, and for the next it is 3 EI, and for the next it is 4 EI, and the next again it is 4 EI and it's 3 EI. Okay, so this last 2 alone it's repeating in the reverse order. So in the first case it is ML by EI, so M is M only, so you can directly write that. In the second case, if you see, means M is WL, so WL into L, so WL square by 2A. Like the same, you have to substitute this M and the next M and all for this M formula, so you'll be getting all the answers, so you can just check it. Okay, so WL cube by 6 EI, WL cube by 24 EI, WL square by 16 EI, WL cube by 24 EI. So you can just remember this trick alone. It's EI, 2 EI, 3 EI, 4 EI, again 4 and again 3. Okay, so this is all about the slope. So now if you go for the deflection, the slope has to be multiplied with the constant value, and that constant value has also some similarity between that to remember it easily. So it is nothing but theta into L by 2, 2L by 3, 3L by 4, 4L by 5. So up to this it stops, and for the last two it's different, that is L by 3 and 5L by 16. Okay, so when you multiply this theta into L by 2, you'll be getting ml square by 2 EI, WL cube by 3 EI, WL power 4 by 8 EI, WL power 4 by 30 EI, WL cube by 48 EI, and 5WL power 4 by 384 EI. Okay, so this is all about the deflection formula, and to be noted here, I am telling this, the deflection is in the center, okay, and not in the edges, because in the cantilever beam the deflection will be maximum in the free ends. Okay, so this values and all is for free end value only, not at the supports, and for the last two case the deflection is at middle, not at the ends. Okay, so these two values are at the middle, whereas in the case of slope, if you see, means the slope also will be maximum for cantilevers at their ends only. So at this four ends only this value, four values, and in case of the simply supported beam the slope will be maximum at their ends, at both the ends. So these two values are at both the ends, so this is also to be noted. Thank you, and keep watching for the next lecture on thin cylinders.